Good afternoon. You're tuned into Commercial Vehicle Magazine. As you can see, we are not hanging out in a park. This is yet another very substantial bus launch. These two beautiful buses that you see parked behind me are from the Volvo bus stable, from Volvo Eicher Commercial Vehicles. The company has brought a new platform into the Indian market, and it's a landmark feat for the company because they've existed in the market for over 2 decades. And their operators have been receiving regular platform updates, but the company wanted to up the ante, and so was the demand from the bus operator side to offer something new in the market. So what better time than this, where the bus market seems to be picking up, specifically the Intercity bus market that the company is looking to tap with these two buses. These are, of course, based on the 9600 platform, launched in Europe in 2019, and the company hopes to replicate those benchmarks in India. Obviously, the buses have been tweaked for the Indian market, but it is the 9600 platform at the heart and soul of the bus. The buses will be offered in two configurations, 13.5 meters and 15 meters, both in a sleeper and seating variant. They will have about 40 berths and 35 berths in different combinations. The engine can be tuned for different combinations, but at the outset, the 13.5 meter bus could be powered by a 300 HP engine. That's the D8K 6300, and the 15 meter bus will obviously have a higher HP, that is the 350 horsepower on the D8K 6350 platform. These engines have been identified to be the most fuel efficient from the entire bundle of engines that the company commands. And interestingly, the company has made another revelation. Going forward, the company has narrowed down to the 8-liter engine as a suitable candidate for all its buses. So from now onwards, up to 13.5 meter, the company will be showcasing their buses and offering their buses with the 8-liter engine. Also, the existing 11-liter engine that you see on the 15-meter coach, for example, will be phased out, and that too will be replaced by a high-performance 8-liter variant. So it's a very interesting strategy that they have adopted for the Indian market in comparison to other advanced markets where they are looking at platforms like B11R, which was also obviously India had a 11-liter engine option, and then again B13R is doing the rounds in the European market. So the company feels at this point in time, looking at the Indian market, looking at the requirements of the Indian fleet operators, looking at the parts commonality, looking at the cost efficiency, looking at the fuel efficiency requirements, the 8-liter engine does justice, and that's what you are going to see in all the products from the Volvo bus stable, at least for the foreseeable future. These buses in diesel will also be offered later in perhaps a CNG and LNG variant. There are no plans to electrify these buses, but given that Eicher has electric buses in its stable, you will keep hearing separate announcements on the EV side. So a lot happening here today at the Volvo bus plant in Hoskote. In a short while from now, I will also take you around these fantastic vehicles parked behind me. Stay tuned. You around a walk of the 13.5 meter 9600 launched today, available in a seater and a sleeper variant. This is a 4x2 axle bus. From the front fascia, the characteristic Volvo emblem, and immediately drawing your attention are the V-shaped front headlamps. If you walk over to the side, this is the 13.5 meter coach, but it is still very long, and Volvo has identified 13.5 meters in line with the European market to be the next gold standard for the Indian market as well. And that's the reason why at Apollo CV Awards also the company bagged an award as the CV Coach of the Year for its 13.5 meter coach. Just taking you around. This is a rear engine bus. A little more on that as we progress with this video. Lovely Bengaluru weather, so greeting us with a bit of drizzle, a bit of nip in the air, and cooling off our heels at about 26 degrees on the upper side and 21 degrees on the lower side. The characteristic Volvo tail lamp arrangement. A little closer to show you the LEDs. Then you have the conventional bulbs. Tail lights, reverse sensors, cameras, all the works. The 9600 badge. Let's try and get you a closer look at this tall rear, and the reason behind that is because it's a rear engine bus. So the company has tried to offer the best of height and room in the buses for the Indian market. Flying on 22.5-inch radials from Michelin. Look at the side view. It's already tempting us to be on that bus, and so we will walk right into the interiors. And these lights are not to a discotheque. It's the entrance to the 9600 13.5 meter coach on a 4x2 axle. It's a manual gearbox that you see over here, fitted with a integrated retarder, 6 forward gears, reverse camera, various controls that you see over the central console. And of course the Volvo Dyna steering, the instrument cluster, nice balance of analog as well as equal amount of space for the digital inputs to be relayed. Here you see the parking brake, mirror adjustment, trying to cover as many blind spots as possible. Emergency switches, VIP's panic switch. They should give you a closer look. Convenient for the driver, some few cubby holes. It's a 3-point seat belt arrangement that you see. So we can try and get you the driver cockpit in totality. And look at the amount of headroom that Volvo manages. Of course, a panoramic view giving the driver a very commanding stance. And then of course a co-pilot can be seated over here as well. Let's take you to the interiors in a sleeper berth variant. It's a 2x1 arrangement that you see over here. Space for 2 passengers, comfortable leg room, comfortable height. In fact, the height I'm told is the best in class. Looking at the Indian customers' requirements, all the nitty-gritty is taken care of. A dividing curtain, AC blowers, reading lamps, the emergency hammer. We've got USB charging sockets, mobile holders, a cross-section ABS cross-section here that Volvo has used, and also the bus body compared to its global markets is much wider here in India. This will give you a clear view of the layout. You can see guiding floor lamps, a wooden flooring, and the arrangement is repeated. Can be configured for 40 to 34 berths depending on the operator's requirement. That's the emergency exit provision, and a HVAC from JTAC. Nice badging from Volvo. Can't take away from the Volvo range, can you? From the Bengaluru weather greeting us with rains. This is how the berth can be folded up, and then there is a door right at the center over here for ingress and egress. There was an interesting question raised on why chemical toilet was not provided as a standard option, but the answer was quite logical. It completely depends on the bus operators who purchase the bus, and sometimes the Indian buses tend to get crowded and the maintenance is not quite easy, so it's an optional arrangement that Volvo has been offering in the market for a good 10 years now, and it's up to the operator to up the ante. I sense the bus moving already. Other precautions in line with the sleeper bus code, taking care of all the safety arrangements. Who wouldn't like to put their legs up and enjoy a ride on this bus? Should be a good experience for passengers. That was a small tour of the interior. Back to the driver cockpit. Hello sir, how is the impression of the bus? Like the bus? Yeah, the smile says it all. A small glimpse of the 13.5 meter in its sleeper berth variant. The drivers allowed me to enter the 15 meter coach. No lights here, but an equally elegant cabin, a cockpit for the great operators. You enjoy the monsoons in the rear view camera. All your operating switches. Pretty much the same arrangement and a nice balance between analog and digital dials here in the instrument cluster. A few more switches and the parking brake that you can see. Let's try and give you a... And there is the all-important inclusion of the iShift. It's a 12-speed transmission unit mated to coupled with a hydrodynamic integrated retarder. iShift software has also been upgraded as per company claims, and this should be translated to smoother gear shifts on road. A similar color tone, dual color tone of beige and brown, extending into the 15 meter coach. The bus is also expected to make waves during its official launch at Prawaas, but we've got you an early access to what you can expect at Prawaas. Similar 2x1 arrangement, 2 on the left and 1 on the right in a 2-level arrangement. So single, and here you have the twin beds again in a 2-level arrangement. Similar inclusions of accessories like mobile charging, mobile holders, reading lamps, all safety arrangements taken care of, HVAC vents, quite generous use of the space. Trying to bring the Indian market intercity coach travel experience very close to global markets like the Europe, the United States. The company claims it's been a good push in terms of government intervention to bring the sleeper coach code, because of which the company plans of offering a sleeper coach really took off, because they had the technology, they were offering it in the global markets, but it was a push that was needed from the Indian government that finally allowed all plans to fall in place. And with 13.5 being the golden benchmark, the company is also geared up with 15 meter options. So there's plenty to choose for, a great amount of modularity to the chassis, the 9600 platform that the operators can choose from, and depending on the configurations that they choose, the bus could be priced anywhere between 1.3 CR to 2 CR. That's the typical Volvo pricing. I'm told that a lot of these buses, which is the case with most coaches in the Intercity model, will be owner-based agreements compared to a lot of GCC contracts that you see being struck in the intracity model. So that was a small tour of both the 13.5 meter and the 15 meter in its sleeper berth, guys. More on these buses when it's officially launched at Prawaas 2022.